Hi. So I've now been on estrogen for just over 2 weeks, something like 2.5 weeks I think, and the first thing I want to talk about is my mood. I may have been a little bit naive in my first week. I was on a high and a bit of a buzz from starting estrogen, and the euphoria around that might have skewed my perception somewhat. Having said that though, the things I was saying are still roughly accurate. I distinguished surface mood from the underlying depression I used to suffer from, and I still think that's an accurate assessment. However, in that giddy rush of excitement which caused me to erroneously believe that all my sorrow and misery had simply disappeared, I didn't fully realise the depth of feeling that I'm still capable of. When you've suffered depression all your life, it can be difficult to separate healthy feelings of sadness from the condition of being depressed, because they've always been connected in the past. Over the last week and a half, I have indeed experienced a number of feelings of anger, feelings of sadness, feelings of loss, loneliness and regret. And while in the grip of those feelings, it honestly did feel almost every bit as bad as when I used to feel those things. There's been no loss in my capacity to feel negative emotions about my life situations. Something has definitely changed though, and it still convinces me of the miracle of estrogen and still confirms that my brain does run a lot better when it has female hormones as fuel instead of male hormones. What I no longer do when I'm feeling sad about my situation or angry at something somebody said to me is I no longer go from negative feelings to the automatic life is shit, I'm shit, everything is shit place. I no longer feel shit about myself because I'm feeling shit about something external to myself. I no longer doubt whether I have the right to feel angry, no longer getting confused about the right and wrong of the situation. I no longer feel that it's pathetic of me to feel sad. It no longer saps me of my energy or lingers for days so that it turns into a long-term depression that makes me suck at life full stop. My negative moods no longer feel like some unbearable weight that I just can't cope with. Something very real has shifted. I felt it in the very first couple of days, and it made me so euphoric that my depression had gone that I naively believed I would never be sad or miserable again. I was wrong about the last part. I can still feel sad and miserable about my situation or things that have happened to me in the past. Life can still suck, and I can still feel angry or sad about it. But I was right about the first part. It is qualitatively different, because it no longer feeds into depression, into this internal everything is shit narrative, and it no longer causes me to be so horribly down on myself all the time. Seriously, sometimes we are our own worst abusers. Something has definitely changed. My depression is gone. I can now feel comfortably and healthily sad about things. Have the feeling, hold the feeling, and then let it go again and put it to one side. Something has shifted in me, and my brain is not as mean to me as it was while I was still running on testosterone alone. My brain responds well to estrogen, and it has cured me of my depression. This seems to be the truth. I said testosterone alone, by the way, because I'm still not on blockers yet. I am adding estrogen to my body. I'm not yet taking away testosterone. However, I do seem to be doing very well on estrogen alone. The aches and pains I felt in the first couple of days, and to a lesser extent the entire first week, have definitely completely stopped now. I didn't realise that you would feel it in your whole body when you start taking estrogen for the first time, and that your body would have to adjust to it. I didn't realise that it would feel like muscle aches and weird little twinges and odd sensations. Interesting. But yeah, my body is back to normal now. As for increased sensitivity and the strange tendency to want to touch and stroke myself, e.g. on my arms and legs, the latter part has stopped for the moment. Maybe it was a weird kind of psychosomatic feeling extra feminine about myself thing, or a reassuring thing with regards to the physical sensations I was going through, but I've not noticed that at all in week 2. The increased sensitivity thing I do still sometimes notice. I sometimes observe that I seem to notice things in and around my body a lot more. However, I still wonder if this is a placebo effect really, or simply a result of feeling more content and happy so that I care about my physical well-being more. One weird thing I've started noticing is that my wee seems to smell different. I don't know if I'm imagining it, or whether my senses are just starting to sharpen so that I just smell things better, but it's also perfectly possible that the hormones that predominate in our bodies affect the way our bodily functions smell. It certainly makes sense that any chemical difference in your body will also come out in your urine, so it's perfectly possible that it is starting to smell different. It's a pleasant change anyway. My pee actually smells nicer than it did. Finally, my libido. Oh my god, this is really a noticeable change. My body is not urging me anymore. My testicles are leaving me alone and not constantly bugging me. I can still think sexy thoughts about things, and I still enjoy doing so. I can still self-pleasure when I choose to, and I still enjoy doing so on a nearly daily basis still. However, I can also go for over 24 hours without masturbating and be totally chilled out, calm and relaxed. My body used to bug the hell out of me to get some kind of physical release. It honestly used to be really uncomfortable, distracting and irritating to go more than 24 hours without masturbating. I know this probably doesn't paint me in a very good light, but it's the truth about how I was with testosterone as the dominant hormone. And those sexy thoughts would have also triggered a physical horniness, which also would have then bugged me to do something about it eventually. Now I can think sexy thoughts and put them away for later reference and get on with my day without my body being horny and on edge. Now I can forget to masturbate one day and not be completely unable to concentrate on stuff I need to do the next day, so that I have to find time to pleasure myself so I can enjoy the day and not be on edge and irritable. It's honestly a big relief to not be controlled by my body anymore. And I still have the same naughty, horny mind, and I can still enjoy pleasuring myself, so it's honestly no big loss. Also, I feel like this puts things in perspective better for me. Sex no longer seems like the big deal it once did. The things I want to enjoy, it no longer matters when or whether I get round to it with anyone. My lonely, frustrated situation in life, though still making me feel a bit sad, no longer feels like a humiliating loss, or that I'm less of a person because of it. Goddamn testosterone and its stupid competitive bullshit. In fact, if anything, it's the not having someone to cuddle, someone to love, someone who loves me thing that bugs me and makes me feel sad. It always did, of course, but now the sex part of the equation is less important than that stuff. Yes, I'd love to find someone with whom I can enjoy mutually satisfying sex with. Yes, there is still a point in finding pleasure by going out to fetish clubs that cater to some of my specific sexual interests, but it's no longer the be-all and end-all, and it doesn't really matter if I never have sex again, to be honest. Some of this may be personal growth rather than estrogen. Maybe because I'm better in mood and I know that I'm moving in the right direction with regards to my gender, it is helping me put stuff in perspective anyway. But I do feel like there is a whole physical, sexual and even competitive pressure that testosterone puts on you that makes it hard to put things in perspective properly and makes sex way too important and too connected to your sense of self-worth. Honestly, I'm glad to be free of that and to clear my mind from that confusion. I was never a very competitive person sexually anyway, and it always was significant and important to me to value people for their minds and hearts too, to always treat people like whole people, and to seek love, romance and affection. But even so, I do think that testosterone tricks the brain into placing a little too much value on sex, and placing a bit too much self-worth on how much sex you're getting, whether you're good at sex and whether you're getting any at all. And it skews things, it confuses things, and it doesn't help. I'm glad that estrogen seems to be helping me to sort my head out about those things. I don't want to say testosterone is bad, by the way, or unhealthy for everyone, or that men or masculinity are bad or anything like that. It's just my experience. Possibly it's just unhealthy and toxic for me because I'm a trans woman. Should have been born female, and so my brain just functions better on estrogen full stop. Anyway, I didn't expect this video to flirt with controversy. So that's my experience of 2.5 weeks on estrogen. There's no point doing a 3-week one now because I was a bit late with this one. So I'll do my next one on May the 7th, which will be 1 month on estrogen. Until then, continue to enjoy my How to Be Human videos in the meantime. Bye!